In this video, let's see how you can set up write back in Incorta. Before we do that, let's get a quick overview how write back works in Incorta. Anytime in Incorta dashboard, when you use a write back component to create new transaction or update existing transaction, it goes through PostgreSQL database. Incorta will first update or create new transaction in write back table here, and it will immediately sync with the table in Incorta. So this is a schema and a table, and table is exactly same as what you have here, and that gets updated, and that's how you see the latest data coming here from the table in Incorta. So this write back component is fetching data directly from a table in Incorta, but writing to PostgreSQL database and then syncing it. Now, once you know how this works, let's see how you can enable and set up a new Incorta cluster or Incorta environment with write back. As soon as you sign up for write back, you will get access to a new Postgres database. You will have all the credentials and everything that you need to set up Postgres data connection in Incorta. So first thing you will do is you will create a new data source in Incorta for write back. So you will use a Postgres connector to create a new data source. So it will be something like this. So in this case, I have this write back data source, and it's connecting to Incorta. This data source is connecting to Postgres database setup for write back. So once you have done that, you need to create, and this is again best practice, and that's what you should do, is create a local Incorta service user for write back and do all the admin activity using this service user. And also create a new group and assign this service user to this new group. And this new group should have following roles: advanced analyzer user and schema manager. Now, once you're done with this, I'll recommend that you log in as a service user and change the password for the user. And after signing in, create a write back admin dashboard. All the activities will be doing using SDK component. So that's why you need to create a dashboard and use SDK component to do all the setups using write back. And you will also have access to SDK component called DB client. You will add that in the write back admin dashboard. Let's take a quick look at it, this demo, how this works. So in this case, I have this admin dashboard already for write back, but I'll show you what you will need to do first time when you're setting it up. You can install a new SDK component that we have designed for write back using this UI here. You click on add component and then click on upload. And here you can drag and drop this inc file that will share with you for DB client. And other write back component also will share like this with you. So I just drag and drop and will install it. I already have this component. I don't want to install it. Once you install this DB client component, you will notice that these are SDK components that you can see here. I also have a DB client component that I can use. So let's select this and click on save. I already have a bunch of write back tables here. So this DB client is connecting to Postgres database and then showing me all the write back tables that as an admin I can create or have access to. Now, when you're doing the setup for the first time, you will not see any tables here. You will see the setup link. You can click on this. It will take you to this UI. To complete your setup, first thing you need to do is complete the account setting. So for this, you will need to provide the host name, your tenant name, and the service user that you created, use that to authenticate this user. Once this setup is done, you will need to complete manage your integrations. So here you will specify the connector ID. So data source that you created, write back data source in Incorta that you created in the list of drop down here. All the list will show that data source as well. Select that. And database name is the name of the database or Postgres database, the credentials that we shared with you. Use that database name. Once you are done with these two setup, you can come back here and test if you are able to create a new table. You can click on plus here. There are 3 ways to create this table. So let's create a very simple table to test if you are able to create this table. Specify the table name. So this is my table name. And then make sure you create schema as well, so that while creating this table, you also create a new schema and table in Incorta, because this is going to create this table in Postgres database. And let's create WB. I'll just put WB here. Searching is easy. So it will create this schema in Incorta, and a new table will be created with this name in Incorta as well. So this table is now in Postgres database as well as in schema. And you can ignore time zone for now. Let's create some column name. Let's say I want to create task as column name, and then I also want to create comment, and I also can create status column. And then you can of course select data type. Let's say you want to specify start date, you can do that too. And click on create. So this is going to create a new table in Postgres database as well as a new schema in Incorta. So let's see. So there you go. Okay, this was there earlier. Demo. This is the table I created, right? Now it will, if you want to see the schema, if it got created, you can just click on schema and let's search on WB and demo schema WB. This is the one I created. It has 0 rows and you can see table as well here. And if you look at the SQL here, this is querying from Postgres database that we can see here, right? Demo WB1. This is the one, demo WB1. Now, once you're done with this and you're able to create this, by the way, you can also add a record using here, this, click on add record. You can add a record from here as well. If you want to add a column, you can add a new column right from here as well and do some of these activity right from here. But let's say if you want to use a write back component for this table. So you can again click on add inside and select this write back component, this one here. Of course, I will share in file with you. You can upload it and then you will see this here, this SDK component. Now to set up write back for the table that we just created, you just need to select that schema and table. Now to set it up, one thing you need to make sure is this. By the way, when you create a new table, this PKID, created date, modified by, these columns get created automatically for you. Let's bring in PKID. So identifier should always be PKID and should hide this column. Of course, you can show it as well if you want to. And then let's bring in task, make it editable. You can bring in column as well, make it editable, and input type you can change to text area. Let's bring in status as well, make it editable, and then you can have a drop down values, open and close, right? And you can have color as well. For open, it will choose option 1. For close, it will select option 2 here. This is how, and you can change the color as well. For open, if I want to choose some different color, I can select that, and for close, I can select some different color. So this way, you'll be able to see color for status column when you are updating the transactions. Now, of course, I can bring in date as well and make it editable. If you want, you can make a task name required, so it will force you to save that. I don't want to see this setup link here. This is only for admin, so I can hide this. I want to allow create, allow bulk update, bulk delete, bulk update as well, and allow manual refresh or auto full load is as soon as I update the transaction, it will trigger load in Incorta. So you have that option available here. You can enable or disable it based on your requirement. Now let's add a new record here. I can add new task, work on this task, and then status. By the way, this should be drop down. So this is not a drop down. Let's see what's going on. So status should have been dropped down. Oh, here you go. I didn't select drop down here, and that's why it was not showing up as a drop down. So let's add a new record here. Task 1, then enter. And of course, you can make it bigger also later on if you want to do that. Status is open. You can specify the date as well and click on add. There you go. So new task got created and it must have updated the table as well in Incorta. It takes like few seconds to do that. If I refresh this, it should show this data should be fetched from table in Incorta and should show this like this. You can also do bulk update here, by the way. I can click on this and then close here and update. So this is bulk update here, right? I can also duplicate this record and say duplicate and so on. And then that way you can create new record. So it went away because the update in Incorta did not happen. It takes few seconds. If I refresh this dashboard, it will show me all the records as soon as the update is done. So you can also go to the schema here and take a look what's happening. So here I can see that the success number of rows is 3, still 1. So sometime you need to debug. For example, I did this duplicate pretty often, pretty quickly. So maybe it didn't update correctly. So we'll have to review that what happened, but it should work most of the time. Click on save. And you can come back to the schema here, take a look what's going on. There you go. And now I see 3 rows, right? So all the record that I added earlier will show up here. It's showing up, right?